Greetings, loyal listeners. This is Chuck with Snappy Little Numbers Quality Audio Recordings, and you're listening to the Literati Records podcast.
Welcome to episode 35 of the Literati Records podcast. I'm your host, Marcus, and I want to thank you for supporting independent music. Our guest on the show today is Chuck Coffey, head honcho over at Snappy Little Numbers Quality Audio Recordings, a local Denver record label. Through Snappy Little Numbers, Chuck has been putting out 7-inch vinyl releases for various local artists, as well as a few non-local. I really enjoyed my conversation with Chuck, and it felt like chatting with a kindred spirit. But before we move on to our feature, let's knock out a few housekeeping items. Time is running out to get entered in this month's $100 cash giveaway. To get entered, visit our website at www.literatirecords.com and fill out the email list sign-up form. We promise to never give, trade, or sell your email to anyone for any reason. Also remember to connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. Our website is dedicated to our podcast posts, but Facebook and Twitter are where we like to interact more directly with our fellow music lovers. All tracks on the show today come courtesy of Snappy Little Numbers, including the yet unreleased track Slice Away from Spells. You'll find a complete track listing in the show notes on our website at www.literatirecords.com. Now, on to our feature. My guest on the show today is Chuck Coffey from Snappy Little Numbers Quality Audio Recordings, local Denver-based label. Could you give us a brief history of how Snappy Little Numbers got started?
A couple of years ago, I was doing another label with a friend of mine named Don Brissell called Not Bad Records. We started it in 1997 as just, a local DIY record label to put out records by our own bands. And we started putting out records by friends' bands. And then over the years, our pace kind of slowed, and we kind of turned it into a co-op style label where, we were kind of there as resources for bands that didn't really know how to put out their own records, or they wanted to be part of a family and have access to some of the methods that we use to release records and promote and things like that. So it got to a point where the last active band on Not Bad, the Redmen, were calling it quits, and we kind of thought maybe that would be a nice way to bookend the label. And I kind of had this idea in the back of my head of wanting to do a more focused boutique style label that was mostly focused around 7 inches, maybe not exclusively so, but just kind of get started with that. And I talked to Don about it, and he thought that was pretty cool. So I still run it kind of co-op style with the bands, work closely with the bands within their budget. They get they get the bulk of sales. They're the ones doing a lot of the work. I'm there because I'm a fan, and I just want to be able to help get quality records out there for the listeners that might be interested. And got a few other folks that kind of pitch in once in a while to help out. Don is still one of them. He's on our board of directors. I call it our board of directors. It's really just a loose collection of friends that like to hang out, and so that's where the label was born out of, and that's how it operates.
How many artists does SLN currently have on the roster?
Active artists, I would say we have probably about 4 that have put out records. The Manx are looking to get going again here in the near future. We have Hooper that is finishing up their debut album that we'll hope to be doing something with them for that. And then we've got Empty Palace that we just did a record with, and Friends of Cesar Romero that we did a 7-inch with last year. And then we have 2 more bands that have come on board for their new singles later this summer, The New and Spells. And maybe a couple other things in the works, but that's all we know is going on for now.
That's what we could go public with at
this
time, right?
That's right.
Now, do you accept unsolicited submissions from artists?
I'll tell you what, the easy answer is yes. With that being said, we don't get a lot of submissions. I think probably just because, there's a million bands and a million labels, and them finding each other is... I don't think it happens a lot like that anymore necessarily, but sometimes someone will send us a tape or a 7-inch in the mail, and we'll check it out. Other times, people, I don't really respond much to, if people email, like a real kind of generic e-press pack or something like that. I still try and write back or whatever, but, usually the way we still operate is a friend or a friend of a friend approaches us, or we know someone that's looking to do a record, and we're like, hey, if you're going to do this on your own, maybe consider teaming up with us, So that's kind of how we go about things.
Well, being a Denver label, I guess one of my questions would be, how did you hook up with Empty Palace? They just released their new record through you guys, and it's a great record. So
yeah, it's cool,
give us a little background on how you guys hooked up.
Well, so that again it's a local connection, because the 2 constants of that band, Jason Walker and Patrick Houston, used to live in Denver, and they've done a couple bands in Denver. One was Angels Never Answer, which was kind of like a metal band they were mainstays for maybe about 4 or 5 years. And then one of my all-time favorite bands, it's just like total party rock, called Brain Hammer. That was the last band they did before they moved away, and that was the ultimate of shtick. It was as funny to watch as the songs were awesome to listen to. So they moved away, and they kind of bounced around, and they reconnected out in LA, and then just randomly one day Jason just emailed me some songs, and he was like, hey, this is the band that we're doing, whatever. I had stayed in touch with Jason over the years, and Patrick a little bit. And I dug it, and I started asking what they were thinking about doing with it and what they were planning on doing with it. And when they said that they were probably just going to release it themselves, I was like, well, we're not just for Denver, so if you want to put something together, let's talk. And we did, and just everything kind of worked itself out, and that's how it went.
That's great. I'm glad to see that get out there.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a particular criteria or anything that you look for when you're considering signing an artist?
You know, the only thing that I really look for, well, first of all, I have to like the music for sure. But, for me, it's also about the working relationship and how much a band is willing to invest in themselves, just, even sweat equity. Because it's not my day job. I don't do it all day long. I think I do what I can for the bands, and I think the folks that help us out do what they can. My wife, Feb, is our process improvement manager, so she basically tells me if something's a good or bad idea. Right. Another friend of mine, Jen Calloway, does a lot of the art and makes my horrible drawings into cool designs. Or comes up with something herself because she's smart like that. Our friend Dave Wilkinson, he works at Wax Tracks, so I've dubbed him our retail consultant because he likes a lot of the same stuff I like. So I figure if he likes us, it must be good. So.
Well, he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He does so much for the local scene.
It's true.
To begin with.
Yeah. And then there's...
How could you not have Dave on board if you had the chance, right?
It's so true. But just in that being kind of like our circle, along with, Don, I call him our reigning figurehead, but he's a sounding board. He's got good taste. If there's any fluff surrounding something, he sniffs it out. So it's good like that. But just kind of how I approach that is how I approach the bands. I don't think of it so much like a signing because, we really don't do any contracts. The bands own their masters. If someone hits it big and makes $1 million, then I guess it would be worth having an argument about how much I should get, which is most of it because I want it. but really, it's just about if the members are excited about their music, they want to play, they want to be part of kind of this little community of bands and folks that like records, and as long as they don't have any, kind of like delusions of grandeur, like I'm upfront with people, this is what I can do, we'll move some records, you'll get the bulk of the money back, you'll probably make your money back, you might make more. I actually go through royalty statements and make sure everybody gets paid what they're owed. I don't keep anything aside from what we've agreed upon up front, just to cover the costs of whatever business I'm doing for them and maybe to go out to dinner once in a while.
Great. Now, you're kind of known for your high quality yet inexpensive vinyl releases. How do you keep this from becoming cost prohibitive? Because vinyl's not the cheapest.
It's not the cheapest. And to tell you the truth, that's one of the fun parts about kind of doing it co-op style is I don't have to worry about sinking a lot of my own money into something. The bands get to divide it amongst 3, 4, 5 members, so it becomes doable that if they didn't sell a single copy, no one's going to go hungry. So then it becomes easier to, go from recording to manufacturing to release without, waiting on checks to clear and all that other stuff. So I'm kind of like the loan officer, I suppose, I have the accounts with all the places that I do the pressings and the printing and whatever, so I set it up and then kind of work on a payment schedule with the band, and that's how it goes. We don't sell anything for a loss. Vinyl's not that expensive yet that it's outpricing what people are willing to pay for it. But with 7 inches, you're really not going to make a lot of profit. But the kind of people that want to do 7 inches, they just want that cool aesthetic. They want that statement. We have a couple of songs that we think are awesome, and we just want to present them as is, And the thing that I really like about it is it's kind of like, old rock or R&B bands from the 50s and 60s where they had a studio schedule. They would go record a couple new songs, the label would turn it around on a 45, and you're just staying so current with what you're doing that I think a 7-inch is still a great medium for that. And hopefully we'll get into, helping someone out with the full length or something, or maybe doing a cassette. I don't have any interest in CDs, even though they're the cheapest. It's just, there's nothing visually appealing about it, and there's so many different ways to get your audio now that if there's not a more, concrete artistic component of a physical release or something that kind of operates in a niche, then you might as well just throw it up on Bandcamp.
Right. What do you think of custom CDRs? I know sometimes artists have gotten to where they'll customize each individual CDR that they burn 50 copies of and sell those. I think anybody that likes what they're doing enough to want to put it out on something it's great. CDRs or doing custom, I think it's a way to try and make something unique out of a medium that's pretty dead, Yeah.
But it's still good though because it's inexpensive, and especially if you're out on the road and you just want something that you can give away to your new friends that you make or whatever, that's totally cool. But I don't see it being something that we would get into, but I still pick up CDs once in a while, especially if that's the only way someone's getting their music out. That's fine. I'm not anti-CD as a listener. I'm anti-CD as a means of production, I guess.
Now, I was reading an article that you're also involved in a project to try and preserve some of the great local releases before they disappear. Can you fill us in more on that project?
Sure, yeah. That was something that came about basically just as I kind of learned to figure out Bandcamp. There's so many other great avenues like SoundCloud, whatever, that you can post things online, and it doesn't really cost anything to put something up there. So what I did is, I've been in a million different bands, and a lot of my friends have been in a million different bands, so I have all these CDs, tapes, vinyl, where, if I'm lucky, I still had the master and something I could transfer digitally, and just kind of started posting out of print stuff from old local bands, maybe some B-sides or demos from bands that I was in that never had a release, or something that went out of print a long time ago. So I kind of just came up with it, filing it under what I call Snappy Little Archives, in conjunction with Not Bad Historical Preservation Society, which these are all just names I made up because I just thought it would sound cooler.
They sound good.
Yeah. So it was things from the circle of Not Bad, things from, the newer circle of Snappy Little Numbers. I put up some stuff from 7 Lucky, which was an old Denver label from the late 90s, early 00s. Not Bad inherited the Paco Garden Records catalog about 7 or 8 years ago, and so I put a bunch of that stuff up. So it's certainly not comprehensive of everything that's happened in the Denver area music scene, but amongst the group of friends that I've managed to stay in touch with, and even some that I had lost contact with and kind of sought out to see if they had any of that stuff they wanted to put up, we've managed to throw a lot of things up, and it's free, or give us a tip and we'll make sure that whoever originally recorded it gets the money, and that's just kind of how we've been rolling with it.
Okay. Well, that begs the question then, is there anything that the audience can do, or maybe people who've been in bands over the years in the area, anything they can do to help you in that effort, like track down old local releases or something and email you?
Yeah, if people have stuff that they think would fit within the parameters of how we're running it, man, that would be great. I would love to even have some insight into maybe some other pieces of Denver's musical history that I'm not that familiar with. I probably don't have the time or resources to make it so comprehensive, but anything that's kind of touched the areas that we're working on, I'm sure that it would be appropriate for inclusion, and I'd be happy to have a dialogue with anyone that's interested. So,
do you have an email address?
I do. The best way to find me for things like that is just info@snappylittlenumbers.com.
And are there any other upcoming events or releases that you want to plug?
Yeah, so our next 2 releases after Empty Palace is a single by The New, 2-song single by The New. Then that should be out June 15th. They're having a release show for that at Unit E. And then hot on the heels of that will be the debut single by Spells, another 2-song 45. And that will be released June 29th. And then I guess we'll have to wait and see what else happens for the rest of the summer.
Well, Chuck, I want to thank you for taking the time to fill us in on what's going on over at Snappy Little Numbers. Very informative, and we wish you all the best. We'll definitely keep track of how things are going.
Thanks a lot, Mark. I'm a new fan, and I'm happy that you were interested in us.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Shaking every moment. I could live lives, and I could play you, baby. 'Cause you are those dark eyes, and I formed the beams for rapture. But now you're the dark skies. The path, the pains persistent. Size away all the lies that you've been around me. Size away all the lies that you've been around me. Size away all the lies you forget about me. Size away all the lies you forget about you. I think you might mind. I gave you the victim, the favorite to lose life, and hold a only for will. But now that I see you, now that I see your black eyes,